Good morning. How you guys doing? It's Mike back with the thought of the day on June 23rd, 2023. First, I want to give honor and praise to the Elohim of Israel for waking me up today and giving me the strength and the wisdom to bring in this message. Then I like to open with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. May your will, not mine, be done. Today I'd like to talk about my Rehab Chronicles. I decided to take a trip down memory lane for some of my experiences that I had in rehab. Some were impactful, some were funny, some were humbling. And so I'm going to entitle it Rehab Chronicles, and a little in parentheses I have the what the situation is, and it's just a little dive down memory lane. So this title would be Rehab Chronicles, the grocery store. When I first time I went to rehab, back around 2014-15, it was laid out a little different than it is now in Florida. Back then they had it where it was like lockdown residential. You only go out when they take you out, and once you came back from clinical, you were basically locked down in the facility, and you had to. It was rules to do everything you had to do. So once I arrived there from detox, I stayed at Sunrise Detox 5 nights, and then I went over to Ocean Breeze Recovery. Once I arrived at Ocean Breeze, one of the first things they do is take you shopping. So I get to the facility. They said we gonna take you guys food shopping and this and that. But I knew something was wrong because they had already took my wallet and ID and phone and everything. So I'm saying to myself, how am I gonna go shopping without any money? So it's me and 2 other clients that just came in. So we arrive at the grocery store, and there's these 2 young white kids that's not, I know now that they were TAs, technical assistants. So they were gonna take us to the grocery store. So my first thoughts is they're gonna give me my wallet back at the grocery store so I could shop and this and that. But that wasn't the case. We get to the grocery store, and once arriving, I understand now is that I get a $60 limit of stuff that I want to buy, and they have to escort me around the grocery store. Now I'm looking a little bit puzzled, like, why do these kids have to walk me around the grocery store? I'm a 40-something-year-old man. I'm a teacher. I got a basketball company. And now I have to walk around the grocery store with these young kids. So they're escorting me up and down the aisle. My anger is starting to grow because now people are staring at me wondering if this guy is either in jail or this guy is crazy. Why is these kids escorting him around the grocery store? So I get my items, and I take them up to the front. And this when the real humbling part comes out. They have to pay for my food with a card. So I got to wait for them with all my stuff in the front, and then they come pay for the card. Now I'm in a predominantly African-American neighborhood, so I'm looking very odd. People are staring at me like, what's going on? At least that's what's going on in my mind. But they probably didn't see these people do this a lot of times, so they're used to it. But in my mind, I'm ashamed, embarrassed, and humbled. So they pay for the stuff. We get it in, and we get back to the facility, to the residence, and I just broke down in anger and rage. Like, I felt so embarrassed, so ashamed that I had got to that point in my life where some young kids had to escort me around the grocery store. And one of the reason was probably because down in Florida, they got liquor and beer inside the grocery stores. But I was so full of ego and arrogance at that time, I didn't even think about that part. I thought about somebody was trying to control what I had going on. See, the whole process was about humbling me to break down who I thought I was. The fact that no matter how much money you had, no matter your job, no matter your career you had, You went to rehab, buddy. And I didn't get that through my head because I wanted it to still be about me. And that was the problem. It was a very humbling experience. I didn't understand it at the time. Like, it was my first trip there. So I held on to this rage and embarrassment where they were really trying to humble me and let me understand that I was just another bozo on the bus. I took it the whole other way. And it started me off on a wild journey, and it had me like not thinking that I was an alcoholic no more, because once things like that happened, that was my excuse to not want to be there. One of my excuses to not want to be there. So the grocery store experience kicked it off, and it was something I'll never forget. Looking back at it, it was definitely a humbling experience. This brother Mike, thanks for listening. Stay tuned for more Rehab Chronicles. Shalom.